Welcome to True Health Tuesday. Today, skin. I'm the definitive expert on skin because I've owned it for 56 years. No. Okay, we're going to go through, because when you look at the different diseases and the different common problems, what if there was just like one solution? Okay, what if there was just one problem? Now, you're going to see a number of different skin problems. I mean, asthma or acne, eczema, rosacea, hives, shingles, psoriasis, cold sores, plant rashes, skin tags, athlete's foot, moles. I mean, warts, dermatitis, skin cancer. All of these are conditions, but then it gets worse because you've got autoimmune disorders of the skin. Okay, scleroderma, psoriasis, dermatomyositis, epidermolysis. You know, it just gets going on and on. But also, what are life-threatening? Life-threatening skin diseases. And P. vulgaris, toxic epidermal necrolysis, Stevens-Johnson syndrome. You can get this from taking Motrin. I love this dress. Drug rash with eosinophilia and systemic symptoms, toxic shock syndrome. And these are life-threatening skin issues. Now, when you look at, there's over 3,000 different skin issues. So in our culture today, what you're looking for a doctor that's an expert that looks at your problem and categorizes that and says, wow, you have skin disorder number 2,323. Is that different than skin disease 2,324? Do you know what I mean? I mean, why are there so many? Like if we had 5 people with high blood pressure, would they have all the same cause? If we had 5 people with eczema, is it the same cause? Okay, so let's look at it a little bit different. Now, and I love this. In addition to many general terms such as eczema or dermatitis, they are ambiguous in their diagnostic intent because they may encompass a diverse array of pathologies and may be differently interpreted by various specialists. Does that mean those 3,000 diagnoses are different from different people, different doctors? That it's not really based in science, they're basing it on guesswork? Now, this is extremely common in our environment. Now, we're designed to live on this planet. We're designed to be here. Okay, we've been around for thousands of years. There's certain cultures, I mean Aboriginal cultures, that have no word for acne. They never had it. People that have natural, organic, native diets, they've never had skin disorders. So why is it so prevalent? And now, I mean, they talk about prevalence and estimates, passing obesity, high blood pressure, cancer. And this is frightening because morbidity and mortality from skin conditions are both expected to increase, and the prevalence in healthcare spending related to skin diseases are considered among the fastest growing of any medical condition. Good God, run! And so what's the cause? What's the religion of science? What do they say? Because it's not actual real doctors. They're blaming bacteria, viruses, irritants, fungi, allergies, immune diseases, and genetics. Okay, this is what they say are the causes of skin disorders. Now, according to the National Institute, allergies, irritants, your genetic makeup, certain diseases, immune system problems can cause dermatitis, hives, and other skin conditions. So what do we do? Okay, because remember, this is symptom drug therapy, this is symptom drug society, so bacteria, we give them something to kill bacteria, antibiotics. So we've got viruses, we're going to give you an antiviral, funguses and antifungal, allergies, antihistamines, any type of irritant like a rash or anything, we're going to give you a steroid. Autoimmune disorders, we're going to bring out the big guns, immunosuppressants. Has anyone seen the commercials for immunosuppressants? Yeah, death is a side effect. And of course, if it's genetics, hopefully you're flexible enough to bend over and kiss your butt goodbye. So that was a Cirque du Soleil joke, sorry. Okay, so when you look at this, we're going to take each one because it's odd that if you think that it's from an outside source and it's not self-created and we try and treat it with an outside source, let's look at the side effects. Penicillin. Most commonly prescribed one for skin disorders. Oh my gosh. Severe skin rash, itching, and peeling, along with fever, chills, easy bruising, seizure, blackout. Luckily, if you have a blackout, you won't even think you got skin issues. Okay, so then looks at the antiviral. Now, I purposely put it in small print because there's like 3 slides like this just on this one medication. But when we're talking about stomach pain, urination problems, thirst, tiredness, weakness, black tarry stools, confusion, convulsions, hallucinations, hives, trembling. So you're taking this for a hive that's supposed to be caused by a virus, but it causes hives. Okay, let's look at this is page 2 of the same, drug. Blurred vision, changes in facial skin color, muscle cramping, pale skin, irritated eyes. Now, let's look at the most common antifungals. Mild skin itching and skin rash. Okay, you have athlete's foot, we're going to give this to you, and then of course you develop a skin rash. It doesn't make sense, but of course, depression, confusion. And when I'm reading this, I'm starting to think, well, wait a second, okay? So if we're blaming viruses, funguses, bacteria, if we're blaming all of these outside things that are attacking us, and we're giving drugs that kill those outside things, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, we suspect it's a fungal, a virus, a bacterial, or something, and we're taking a drug to kill that fungus, viral, bacterial. Why does it cause depression, confusion, skin rash, immune system issues? Why, so by attacking these horrible pathogens, why is it causing systemic illnesses? Okay, I just want to present that question because I'm going to answer it in a second. Antihistamines. And again, we're looking at uneven heart rate, mood tremors, seizures, bleeding, shortness of breath, urinating. They don't even have the most common side effect of antihistamines is dementia. Okay, steroids. This is the bigger guns. Okay, thinning of the skin, stretch marks, bruising, tearing of the skin, rosacea, dermatitis, pustule psoriasis. So you're treating pustule psoriasis, you think it's an environmental steroid, and you give something that causes that. Then the immunosuppressants, and this is horrible. Again, hair loss, skin rash, night sweats, fever, jaundice, severe nausea, burning, pain, urination, white patches. All of this stuff. If the entire theory is based on an outside that you're being attacked, what's actually the cause of it? So let's actually look at the anatomy and physiology. Wouldn't that make sense instead of just reacting crazy? Skin is beautiful, okay? 15% of your total body weight, you're talking 21 square feet, and weighs about 9 pounds, 11 miles of blood vessels supply skin. But when you think of this, wow, 11 miles of blood vessels, I wonder if the health of the blood would affect the health of the skin. Some nerves in the skin are connected directly to the muscle instead of the brain. Absolutely, this increases reaction time. So if you get burned, you can be pulling back, quicker than you even knew that you were burned. 300 million skin cells, the average person. A single square inch of skin, and we're going to talk about this, just 1 square inch of skin, 19 million cells, skin cells, 300 different sweat glands. On 1 inch of skin, I've got 1,000 different species of bacteria. Not 1,000 bacteria, 1,000 different species. And every 28 days, I'm brand new. Everybody else is. And so how can these diseases exist in a human being who's constantly regenerating? And now, you shed about 30 to 40,000 cells every minute. Sorry. So when we look at this, what's the function of skin? Okay, obviously protection, sensation, heat regulation, controls the environment, storage of lipids and water, vitamin D synthesis, excretion, absorption, water resistance. But the structure of it is brilliant. Oh my God. In human dissection, you remove some of the skin, but you're looking at just like, it looks like one solid layer. When you look at it under a microscope, you've got multiple different cells here. You've got muscles that attach to the hair shaft that actually erected. It's called erector pili. When you look at the different types, like thick skin, thin skin, look at the different structures, the miles of blood vessels, how this is permeable. I mean, anything you put on your skin actually can get into the body. It's, I mean, brilliant. It's a brilliant structure that's constantly being renewed. It's constantly being regenerated. And it seems almost impossible for some type of disease to develop in something that's continually being renewed, doesn't it? Now, 1,000 species of bacteria, 19 different bacteria family or phyli, and have been found on the human skin. 1 square inch of skin, 50 million bacteria, just 1 square inch. And oily skin, okay, that's why I'm so shiny, 500 million bacteria. And this is normal. You know, I mean, if you go up and you say, hey, you know, I'm glad we can go out to dinner. You know, I have 500 million bacteria per inch of skin on my face. You know, but we have this bacterial viral phobia, so it doesn't make any sense. When we look at this, density of skin flora depends on the region of the skin. The skin has an ecosystem. You figure when we were talking about candida and yeast and funguses, we know that that feeds bacteria. It also keeps other viruses in check. So it's absolutely essential for what we do. Now, each microorganism, so we're going to talk about the microbiota, like the microflora, like when we talk about the gut flora, how it's super healthy, knowing that there's so many bacteria and there's so many viruses and funguses and everything on your skin, doesn't it make sense that any disruption of that ecosystem, an ecosystem, like if we go down to the Amazon, what could we do to that ecosystem to make it better? What, remove the people? Okay, good idea. That's not an option. Okay, so when you look at it, we do have an ecosystem, and so if we look at the harmony in there, so wouldn't it make sense that the 3,000 different diseases, sorry, you should go earmuffs. Okay, if the 3,000 different diseases are just a disruption of that ecosystem, doesn't that make more sense? Now, when there's a balance, okay, and this is kind of cool, disinfected skin surfaces get recolonized from bacteria in deeper areas, hair follicle, gut, urogenital openings. So if you happen to get exposed to something that kills the bacteria, okay, it's going to repopulate. It's going to, because that bacteria has to go over and spread and protect you. When the balance is disturbed, there can be an overgrowth of fungus and other infections, especially funguses. And sunlight, water, air, I mean, all this are vital. And I love this. When you look at this, the microbiota, the skin is the largest organ colonized by a diverse milieu of microorganisms, most of which are harmless and even beneficial to the host. The cutaneous, innate, and adaptive immune system responses can modulate the skin microbiota, but the microbiota also function in educating the immune system. Am I the only one that has goosebumps right now? Because, I mean, think of this. The living creatures that are on your skin, that you have a symbiotic relationship, are vital to your immune system. They actually communicate what's outside in. I mean, with so many slides, I would have liked to have had in here that when you look at Nobel Prize winners, they say your DNA is 50% viral. We have such an intimate relationship with this. The symbiotic microorganism occupy a wide range of skin niches and protect against invasion by more pathogenic or harmful microorganisms. Now, if you get a chance to go on the cruise with us, because we're going every year, when you walk onto the ship, they have a well-meaning person with a big thing of Purell, okay? You know, because everybody's got to get rid of that bacteria. So there's, you know, and if you walk by and say, no, thanks, I'm good, man, okay, back off, okay, they get violent. They go, no, 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 you got to have this. You got to protect yourself from germs and diseases. And, you know, if you went in and say, no, man, my microbiota are fine. I'm adapting to this environment. I need them for my immune system. Have to be an idiot to wipe them off. What are you doing? And then every time you go into a restaurant, every time, right, Michael? Every restaurant. And if they go, sir, 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 come here, you got to have your, it's like dude, mellow out. And so what we ended up doing after you get yelled at a few times, you go up to them and you go, no, just wash my hands, back off. And they let you go. So, lying to them is okay. Okay, this one, Staphylococcus epidermidis. This is so beneficial. It modulates the host innate immune system response. Innate is an inborn intelligence in your body. Now, this Staphylococcus selectively inhibits certain skin pathogens, just like Staph aureus. When you hear these staph infections in hospitals, why do they have them? Because they're killing all the microbiota. They're killing the ones that protect you. Oh God, I love this. Recent studies demonstrate the commensal-induced TLR signaling may be necessary for cell survival and repair during infection. Staph epidermidis can inhibit skin inflammation through the TLR and TLR3 mediated cross mechanisms. If you look at this, triggers keratinocytes expression of AMPs. And I mean, it's part of the immune system response. Our microbiota, our microflora, if you wipe it out, if you kill it, if you don't have healthy, you have a weakened immune system. Oh my God, that's where the 3,000 diseases are. They're not diseases attacking us. Could it be from a weakened immune system? Good God, Heidi, call the National Institute of Health. I think we may be onto something here. Or they could read Nature Reviews Microbiology. Another outstanding question, whether indigenous skin microorganisms may provide some benefit to the host and whether they are truly symbiotic or commensal. Host microorganisms joining forces to combat invasions of pathogen. The commensal skin bacteria, epididymis, was demonstrated to inhibit near colonization and biofilm of Staph aureus. So this means those staph infections that are so evident may be caused by trying to prevent other bacteria. I love this. The possibility of the host and microorganisms evolving together. Oh, this is going to be a whole different world. Furthermore, as our arsenal of antimicrobial weapons falls short, good God, I just read you what the antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antihistamines, anti-immune system, okay, what all of those do. Are those good effects or negative effects? Negative. Yeah, no kidding. Fall short in battle against Staph aureus, other potential pathogens. Perhaps therapeutics derived from microorganisms' cells will offer promise as viable alternatives. You're going to find out that to deal with, and we're talking in the next generation, because we had to let this generation of doctors die. Once they die off, it's cool, because then we're going to evolve a little bit more. Instead of having antibiotic-resistant bacteria, we're going to go in there and spread healthy bacteria. This is fun. The current research related to infectious diseases of the skin targets microbial virulence factors and aims to eliminate harmful organisms. These same microbes potentially play an opposite role by protecting the host. So when they talk about host, microbe, host, they can inhibit, they can help you. This one, overuse of antibiotic may disrupt the delicate balance of cutaneous microflora, leaving the skin susceptible to pathogens previously kept at bay. I mean, it's brilliant. I should have said that in a British accent, but I didn't want to offend you. So what kind of stuff disrupts the microflora? Wouldn't that make sense? So instead of looking at all these pathogens, my God, we got an immune system. All that beautiful bacteria we got, this is part of how I'm protected from the environment. I don't want to disrupt it. Vaccinations disrupt the microflora. Leaky gut destroys the gut. And we're going to talk about the gut, but it's interesting when you think about the gut. The inside of your gut is really the outside of the world. I know it sounds weird, but if you could shine a light like they do in the cartoons, like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, if you shine a light down here and you could straighten out the esophagus, the stomach, all the intestines, everything else, it would shine out down here. Mm-hmm. Okay, does that make sense? So the inside lining of the intestinal tract, the esophagus, the stomach, everything else, that is really the outside world. So that has a lot to do with the health of our skin. Antibiotics, medications, toxic processed foods, antibacterial soaps, that's huge. Cleaners, toxic household cleaners, cosmetics, chronic stress. It's interesting, under physical, chemical, or emotional stress, cortisol is released, and this is a natural anti-inflammatory. It's the greatest stress hormone out there. However, under chronic exposure, interferes with skin regeneration and healing. Of course it does. So what are the organs responsible for skin health? And you'll see this a lot in Chinese medicine, but this is just common sense. Liver, kidneys, adrenal, thyroid, large and small intestine. So does that mean that those 3,000 different diseases are not really separate diseases? Is that why that the doctors that are diagnosing these things have trouble communicating, because they're looking for something that doesn't exist? That this is an immune system response to environmental toxins. What if you take the deadliest drug in America? Okay, deadliest drug. Aspirin. No, Tylenol. Yeah, Tylenol. Do you know it's the leading cause of liver disease? Do you think that if you're popping a Tylenol because your doctor recommends it, it's gentler and safer on your stomach, it will kill you? Do you think that you could develop skin disorders? Absolutely. Kidneys. Advil, Motrin, Aleve, all the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories negatively affect those. Adrenals and thyroid. How many people are walking around with adrenal fatigue, ending up with certain skin issues? Why? Because they're stressed, because they have increased cortisol. Oh my gosh, increased cortisol, what does that do with skin regeneration? It decreases it. By God, every 28 days we're supposed to have new skin. The large intestine. Okay, what if you have poor motility? Okay, what if you're dehydrated and you're constipated? Do you think that the large intestine is going to be able to break down the nutrients? No, no. Now here's some common things, because you can't trust the products on the shelf. If you see that they have any of these, the parabens, synthetic colors, fragrances, unless they're fully organic and tested, think of this. Anything you put on your skin, you have to be able to eat. So when your friends say, well, I'm going in the sun, I really want to have a sunblock, say, okay, if you can eat it, put it on your skin. And they'll look at you like, I'm not going to eat sunblock. No, use coconut oil, SPF of 6, it's fine. Okay, triclosan, I'm going to show you what that is. Sodium lauryl sulfate, formaldehyde, toluene, propylene glycol. I mean, this is crazy. This one, okay. Environmental Science and Technology, October 24th. Okay, triclosan. Now this is in antibacterial soaps and toothpaste. Okay, Colgate Total. And I love, okay, I just read how it destroys the normal flora, right? You have bacteria everywhere that protects you. Do you want to eat this? Probably not. That's why they have a warning on toothpaste. If swallowed, call the Poison Control Center. They don't have it on my toothpaste. If you look at the side of on Earth toothpaste, which is just like, clay and baking soda, it says you could eat this if you want. Go ahead and eat it. This stuff is poisonous. To fight harmful plaque germs, again, that germ phobia, which cause the most common oral health problems. Now this stuff bioaccumulates, contaminates in breast milk. It's an endocrine disruptor. This is going to disrupt hormones. This is going to cause menstrual problems. It's going to cause, breast cancers, prostate issues, horrible stuff. Alters the thyroid. If thyroid is altered, what happens to the adrenals? The adrenals go up. Then what happens to skin production? Incredible. Chlorine. Do you know when they first started to chlorinate water, there was a rash of appendicitis? Isn't that interesting? And there's so many other ways to clean water now. We use UV light. It's not needed anymore. And we're not even talking about fluoride. Most countries in the world don't poison their population with fluoride. But chlorine, you get it through showering, so you have to filter it. Remember, anything you put on your skin gets in your bloodstream. And this stuff is toxic. It's actually toxic to the microbiota of your skin. So anything you put on there is bad. So what's the solution? Knowing that the inside of our body is equal to the outside, we got to optimize our gut flora. healthy fats, fermented foods to get the bacteria up. Juiced vegetables, blend fruits, raw dairy, dark green leafy vegetables, basic of skin health. Eat these, saute them. Kale, dandelion greens, broccoli. I mean, it's so important. Who doesn't want to dive in this bowl of berries? I mean, just, oh God. Okay, and I mean, antioxidants. Why? Because we're exposed to a bunch of free radicals. Healthy fats, omega-3s, coconut oil, olive oil, grass-fed butter. And then when you look at this, because we've got to develop that healthy bacteria in our system, we have to eat bacteria-containing foods. So if you go to the standard grocery store that has the jar of sauerkraut on the shelf, it's already been pasteurized and killed. Okay, you got to go to like a health food store that has it refrigerated. Or if you're really sharp, you'll go buy Smart and Final, get a bunch of quart jars, chop it up, shove it in there, put it on the counter for a week, and then you got your own fermented stuff. Carotenoids, carrots, sweet potatoes, kale, spinach, astaxanthin from algae. I mean, all of these things are phenomenal. And then what can you do from the outside? The outside, shea butter, coconut butter, virgin coconut oil, jojoba, I mean palm oil, murmur butter. Yeah, we're at an event and a guy was public speaking that had a few drinks this past weekend. Oh my God, it was so funny. But he could say this clear. Okay. Aloe vera juice, palm oil. Okay, so you know, I mean, you know what to do, but let's actually like look at what you can do. Say, look, okay, yeah, great talk, great talk, great talk. I got friggin' acne. What do I do? Eczema, psoriasis, skin cancer. Let's actually look at what the science says. Acne may respond favorably to probiotics due to their involvement in normalizing the gut-brain-skin axis. Wow. So the 3,000 different diseases, does a dermatologist go in there and say, my God, you've got a screwed up flora. We got to help that gut. Okay, and plant extracts. And this is the cool part. This is where you're going to start to put bacteria, or how do they word this? Prebiotics, not probiotics, prebiotics. So it creates a normal, healthy environment to attract the healthy microbiota that you have in your skin and in your environment. Found several plant extracts, ginseng, blackcurrant, which inhibit inflammation-causing bacterium, which is the Bacterium acnes, but do not affect the beneficial species of like Staphylococci. After 3 weeks, the microflora of 91% of the volunteers had been rebalanced in this way. The prebiotic substances have the potential to provide a gentle and sustainable alternative to undirected antibacterial ingredients. Oh, okay, I read a lot of stuff and you know, occasionally you get this, ow, my mind just hurt. Prebiotic substances, so we're looking at this, my God, you have a rash. That is not a rash. That is decreased microbiota. You have a screwed up flora. You got a screwed up gut. We got to heal your skin from the inside out. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to rub some berry juice on you to attract the normal bacteria that should be there, and that's going to wipe out the rash. Well, I just translated this. Yeah, so I mean, lactobacillus, okay, in kids. Atopic eczema dermatitis syndrome, it's called AIDS, associated with a substantial clinical improvement of taking healthy probiotics. International Journal of Cancer. I love this. Impairment of the intestinal mucosal barrier appears to be involved in pathogenesis of atopic dermatitis. How many dermatologists are out there saying, my God, you got dermatomyositis, you got dermatitis. We have to look at your gut flora. We got to look at your intestinal barrier. Because remember, I mean, think of the Tom and Jerry cartoon. Do they still have Tom and Jerry cartoons? Okay. Any cartoon that they have where they shine a flashlight down a cat's throat and you see it coming out the butt, okay, that's the outside of the world. So if your inside, your intestinal mucosa is healthy, that means your skin's healthy. I mean, it's just brilliant. Psoriasis and atopic dermatitis, AD, are chronic inflammatory skin disease which are negatively influence the quality of life. In the last year, several evidence highlighted the pivotal role of skin bacteria in the worsening symptoms of AD and psoriasis. Significant differences between the skin microbiota of psoriatic individuals and healthy and AD subjects were observed. It doesn't exist, the psoriasis and atopic dermatitis. And this is apologies to everybody that's been told that you have this and you have to use skin creams and you got to take the steroids and good God, we got to get you some antibiotics and we got to get you on the antivirals. Have you ever heard of that scenario? It's insane. Instead of saying, my God, let's rub some berry juice on you and attract some normal bacteria. You know, high levels consumption of fermented foods. So what are they doing? If you got psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, all those skin disorders, fermented foods to heal the body from the inside out. Interestingly, the consumption of coffee, chocolate, and ice cream was significantly negatively associated with the prevalence of AD. So this means you take it in and it helps you. Now, coffee intake appears to exert a moderate protective effect against basal cell cancer development. You have skin cancer, and you know, I mean, this is going to be, organic coffee would be better. We don't want to have, you know, the toxins or poisons or, you know, pesticides in it. Increasing caffeine intake and caffeinated coffee consumption is associated with decreased risk of cutaneous malignant melanomas. No, say it with me. Wow! I even like coffee. So this is cool. Okay, vitamin A, acne and atopic dermatitis. So, you know, what do? Vitamin A, vitamin E. Plasma levels have an important role in the pathogenesis of acne. Studies suggest vitamin E can improve symptoms and quality of life. Vitamin E has no side effects. Oh, what were the side effects of the antifungals, antivirals, anti-life drugs? Yeah. Supplementation with antioxidants, vitamin E, selenium, could be feasible for the management of patients with severe forms of psoriasis. No kidding. Calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin A have a therapeutic role in such diseases as rosacea, psoriasis by influencing the innate antibiotic and immune modulator calcin. When you look at this, innate is an inborn intelligence in the body. We're going to talk about this next month, but there's an intelligence in your body. So think of this. When you see redness, scratching, rashes, all this stuff, that is an intelligent response by the body. It's not an unintelligent. The body never does anything unintelligent. Vitamin A, liver, carrots, and you know, or of course organic liver, sweet potatoes, kale, broccoli, squash. Who doesn't want to cut up a little bit of this, put it in, you know, a pan with a little bit of coconut oil? Oh my God. Okay, vitamin E, almonds, spinach, sweet potatoes. If you've never taken an organic sweet potato, sliced it up, put it in a pan, toss a couple of leaves of spinach in there, sauteed. Oh, good God. Okay, low stomach acidity. Now, this is back when medical journals were really, really sharp, where they actually did unbiased studies. Went back to 1945, the Southern Medical Journal. Stomach acid. 90% of vitiligo patients had low stomach acid. Alopecia, that's hair loss. Lupus, 100%. Psoriasis, urticaria, eczema, acne. Okay, now this is low stomach acid. So how many people are taking Tums, Rolaids? How many people are drinking water with their meals? Water, which dilutes the stomach acid. I mean, how many people have reflux? Okay, because they're under chronic stress. I mean, this is so clear. But, and today I just, because to prepare for all of these, I'd look at a lot of information, and I was listening to this one YouTube talk on it. This guy was an idiot. He was a professor at a dermatological college, and, you know, he was a great surgeon, I'm sure, for plastic surgery. He hadn't a clue. He didn't talk about anything that was beneficial. So if you do have low stomach acid because of environmental toxins, bentane hydrochloric acid is actually good, but only use it for a short period of time, no greater than 30 days. Subjects with atopic eczema, acne vulgaris, seborrheic dermatitis, rosacea improve following sunlight. Guess what this idiot dermatologist said? Stay away from sunlight. It's really bad. Yeah, unless he actually was able to read, you know, then he'd find out. From Photodermatology Journal. Vitamin D plays an important role in the immune system, and its deficiency has been implicated in various skin diseases, such as atopic dermatitis and psoriasis. I mean, the ability to read enhances your knowledge so much. I wish you could go back to school. Is my sarcasm showing? Because I don't want to be too mean, but I figure if you're in the business to help people, you should freaking study. That was me kicking him in the testicles. Okay, so vitamin D deficiency. Yeah, he really pissed me off today. Asthma, rhinitis, atopic dermatitis, food allergies all help with vitamin D. Increased UVA exposure, that means inside light. No, honey, don't go outside. It's sunny out there, okay, is bad for you. Getting outside may be responsible for, or staying inside, low levels of light increases melanoma. Okay, UVB exposure, the best way, because at this time of the year in the northern hemisphere, we have low levels of light. You got to supplement. You got to supplement. I mean, you know, typically 3,000 units for every 100 pounds, but we got to. And when we look at this, vitamin D and K2 work in harmony together. So again, we're talking about the fermented foods along with direct sunlight or supplements. And I love this. Journal of Drugs and Dermatology. Today there is growing scientific evidence that suggests curcumin, this is turmeric, chronic pain, inflammatory dermatosis, acceleration of wound closure, skin infections, as well as cosmetic ailments such as depigmentation. It has a protective role against pollutants and cytotoxic agents. Topical administration of curcumin can directly deliver it to affected tissue, making it useful in treated skin-related disorders. Yes, you have a skin inflammatory disease. I'm going to sprinkle a little turmeric on you. It just makes sense. It's not poisonous. Oh my God. But again, in order to get this information, you have to have the ability to read.
In yellow.
I tried to make it bright. Okay. Turmeric, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antitoxic, anti-neoplastic. Anti-neoplastic means it kills cancer. Variety of dermatological diseases, acne, alopecia, atopic dermatitis. Phototag. I mean, this is like everything. So, I mean, boiling it down, if you look at the skin as expressing nutrient deficiencies or toxicities, that's it. There's not 3,000 diseases. There's going to be a poisoning or a loss of the gut flora, vitamin A deficiencies, vitamin C deficiencies, zinc, essential fatty acids, B deficiencies, dark circles, that's going to be mineral deficiencies, which is also low stomach acid, pellagra, okay, which is niacin deficiencies. I mean, we just had a patient's uncle who was in deep trouble for problems with low sodium. And it's because the low salt diets. It's just insane. When we put up the 5 keys for healing, imagine if skin disorders were there because of deficiency and toxicity. You need to get your nervous system checked, because if you're in a sympathetic dominant state, you're going to have low stomach acid. What does that do to skin? Okay, if you're in a stress state, what does that do to cortisol levels? Starts with the nervous system. Exercise to detox your body. Hopefully you're exercising outside where the sun is. Okay, proper nutrition. I wish I could play that just for shits and giggles, because you would be driven crazy by this guy. Proper nutrition. It means a man makes it, you don't eat. It's got to be organic. Sufficient rest. Why? Because that helps the immune system. That's what the skin disorders are from. And prayer and meditation, does that help your immune system? Yeah. And then for the internet trolls and those who are interested, who have the ability to read, reference, reference, reference. Bam! Now, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Could you put the turmeric, the powdered turmeric, like in your coconut oil?
Yeah.
And spread it on your skin?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, there's so many good things that you can do with certain spices. One of them, don't do this if you have a cut. You put, what's the red spice? Cayenne. Cayenne pepper with coconut. Incredible. It rushes blood to the area. Phenomenal for helping like bursitis and things. But yep, you can do it right on. Yes, ma'am.
I have a family member who insists that the reason why he developed acne, because he didn't have it before and it wasn't in his family, was because he was trying to help his mom out, changing out the fluids in her car, and didn't know to wait until the heat died down to, you know, unscrew where the coolant is.
Mm-hmm.
And something splashed up in his face and burnt his whole face and neck. And after that incident, he developed acne, and he still has it to this day at 37 years old, whereas nobody else did. And he's like, I can't do anything to get rid of this. Nothing else has helped. What's going on? He's done clay masks and detoxing and tried to step up his nutrition, but nothing seems to work.
One of the best things is to go back, realize that it's because you can actually have burns and it can damage those multiple layers. So if you're missing the oils of the skin, okay, like the sebaceous glands, if you're missing the body's ability to detox, if that actually closes the pores, absolutely that can negatively affect you. But rebuild his skin flora, rebuild his gut flora, get the nerves that work there, you know, correct.
And it may do a lot more detoxing from the inside.
Yeah, if he has major scar tissue, that could be really damaged. If he doesn't have major scar tissue, and this is a really cool trick too for old acne scars, or you know, just any, you know, bad cuts that you have, because remember, your body is always regenerating. If you take a clear, you know, cotton cloth, just white cotton, no nothing on it, put filtered clear water on it, and no soap or anything else, you just scrub your face. Because what are you doing when you have scars on it? Okay, by rubbing it, you know you're getting rid of that top layer of cells. You're not going to be using soap that can disrupt the normal flora. By rubbing it really, really hard, you're going to be stimulating the blood flow. You're going to be stimulating macrophage activity. You're going to be starting to eliminate scar tissue. I mean, I used to have the coolest looking scar that went all the way down. You can still see it a little bit, but man, it looked awesome. But I did that and it, you know, went away, which kind of decreased my character. But you know, if you want a scar to go away, try it, because you really will see scar tissue go away. Just got to scrub real hard, change it, do it every day, and you're gonna see your body renew.
You've supplemented your character in other ways.
The scar looked cool though, it really did. Yes, sir.
What did you say the connection between low stomach acid and nervous?
Oh, well, think of this, because the stomach and digestion is governed by part of the nervous system called rest, digest, and repair. That's the parasympathetic. The fight or flight, the thing that keeps you alive under stress, is the other half. And when one's active, the other one's not. So if you're physically stressed, like you're driving and you're frustrated with the traffic, or you're pissed off with thoughts of the game that's being played on TV, okay, you're going to be in a sympathetic dominant state, which means you're going to have low nerve supply going to the stomach. That means low stomach acid, everything else. This is why when people are upset, they say, oh man, got some indigestion. Yeah, because you're not focusing in on digesting the food, you're in a stress state. And so that'll create low stomach acid. But also, most common one is drinking water. Because when you smell food, you create an acid. And if you're drinking water with meals, you're diluting the acid. And the only reason that we're alive is because we're able to break those proteins to amino acids. And if we're decreasing the acid, we don't have available building products. Okay, we don't have the building products, man, we can't build healthy stuff, particularly skin. Because, I mean, every 28 days it's brand new. It requires a lot of materials. Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun. I actually got 2 talks next week that's really fun, so I don't need to kick butt on it. It's really, honest to God, when you're doing these talks, it's tough because you got to deal with people's belief systems, and you got to break it down to where they think there's 3,000 skin diseases, and then, you know, how it hurts their brain. Next time, or next Tuesday, we're going to talk about how the body works. You know, the brilliance of how your body works. You're going to learn how digestion works, how your body breaks down the amino acids to fatty, or the proteins to amino acids and fats to fatty acids, and how the lungs work, how your blood works, what your spleen does. I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.